watching my video channel. Pretty excited about. It's been back on YouTube for about a week now, and I've produced a few videos. And as that goes, when you're starting to do new things and get back out there, your inspiration starts to becoming overwhelming. And I think that's what happened over the last year. Of course, I was busy as I was processing, pondering, just like I said in my one video, taking a break for a while, but also regrouping and discovering what it is that I wanted to do. And so I think what happens is that when you're going through that phase, your inspiration kind of goes down. And that's because the mind is starting to tell you it's a time for rest, it's a time for reflection, it's time to start pondering what you want to do going forward and stuff like that. So what I want to start off with today is I met a wonderful woman over the weekend. Her name is Maria Martinez, and she is the author of this book. This is her second book that she published many years ago. It's called Open Door from the Universe by Maria Martinez. It's just a pretty incredible. I haven't actually had a chance to read it yet because I just literally met her yesterday. And what I found is that when I walked into her home, I'm sure you guys have experienced this at some point in your life, it just literally, she considers it her temple, where she teaches all of her students and does her healing work and stuff. And when I met her, literally the energy started healing my body and bringing inspiration, started flowing through me, and that chi, or that loving energy, started coming through me. It was pretty cool. So with that being said, so it just started making me think about all that love from this woman. She's almost 90 years old, and the amount of wisdom that she had from the amount of experiences she's had throughout life. So then I've been studying quite a bit. I was watching and studying a subject that I've been looking at for a long time myself, and my friend Virginia, and now my friend Justin Deschamps have been looking at this subject for quite a while. And I was actually just reading in this article, and I'm talking about what it's called the psychic psychosis of the Wetiko virus. And it's pretty interesting because I've been saying for quite some time that consciousness, the world's consciousness, is experiencing a global PTSD, or a type of post-traumatic stress disorder. And so what that means to us is that what our mind is, what is called a psychic psychosis, or a psychosis state. So the Cree Native American Indians described this psychic psychosis as Wetiko. There's a term that they gave, and the Cree Native American mythologies portrayed the mystical figure of Wetiko as a cannibalistic spirit who embodies greed and excess and can possess human beings. The Wetiko that was once a human being, but because of its gluttony and selfishness, it was transformed in a predatory monster. And why that's so important to understand is that this particular virus that's within all of us is something very important for us to understand. It's literally a virus that's within us. And so it's a state of mind that we go into, and this mythic figure can be thought of as a state of mind or psychosis or collective delusion that confuses the menu for the meal. For example, by confusing money for real wealth, or treating nature as worthwhile numbers in accounting spreadsheets are considered to have value. A person inflicted by Wetiko is thought to have a heart of ice, making it impossible for them to feel compassion or love for others. Within the Gnostic Gospels of Philip, they talk about the root of all evil lies within us. And the Wetiko, something we need to know is the Wetiko psychosis is highly contagious and spreading through the channel of our shared unconsciousness. And so there's quite a bit to know about the Wetiko virus, but one of the things that you can do to kind of notice it in other people, and as well as yourself, is that every time you see someone that is justifying the destruction of life for profit, it is Wetiko. Every time compassion is vitally missing during time of suffering, it is Wetiko. Again, let me say that. Every time compassion is vitally missing, during time of suffering, it is Wetiko. Every time a privileged person uses a throwaway toy, it is Wetiko. Every time fear or disgust is used to manipulate for personal gain, it is Wetiko. The other thing that I want you guys to understand is that Wetiko wants people to be at odds with each other. So they want them arguing over trivial things, such as right now people are arguing over Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, now that we've gotten past all the primaries. And it's interesting because it's not even like a normal presidential election. During presidential elections, there's heated debates amongst friends. There's lots of interesting things that happen. People have discussions. People may even not agree with each other, but this is at a different level of anger, of true anger. When you have people that are shooting people, when you have shootings that are happen, they're really trying to rev up our emotions. And so what that means is that we got people at odds over civil rights. We got people at odds of people over abusing their power over a certain type of people or a certain race of people. And so with that being said, that is Wetiko. Because honestly, when we get into the soul loves each other. It so loves each other. It's not, when we're in our heart, there is no skin color, there is no gay or straight, there is no right or wrong. It's just flow of the soul. And so what's happened is that we will look at, as a matter of fact, I remember a couple of years ago, I was working for a company called AmeriLife. And I remember looking out of my office and seeing that they were just plowing down trees. Why? So they could make space for more of a parking lot, so that they could have more parking spaces. And I remember how sad I was that there was no thought for these trees. As a matter of fact, they didn't even cut them down and use them for anything. They didn't use them for building homes. They didn't use them for firewood. They didn't use them for anything. They literally just took a tractor and plowed them over, ripped them up out of their roots, not even cut them down piece by piece. They literally just plowed over them. And it literally just made me sit there and go, why? Why are we doing this? And that's Wetiko. That's Wetiko. And what happens is that these things happen and we want to run in and then we want to argue with them. We want to scream and we want to yell and we want to cause war. And we want to pull out guns. We want to punch people and all that kind of stuff. That's the Wetiko within us. Because remember, what this is saying is that the Wetiko psychosis is highly contagious and it's within us. And so if we go into the Gnostics, they talked about the archons, or archons, some people refer to them as. And those, that energy they fed off of our fear. And same thing with the Wetiko virus. It feeds off of our fear. So it feeds off of us. We are like nourishment for them. And so these human beings that are no longer human beings and are plagued with or infected by the Wetiko virus, they're basically like walking zombies. And so they prey on us to enslave us and get us to believe that we are less than or insignificant in comparison to their lives. So this would be what some people refer to the global elite and that kind of stuff, or the privileged and the people that are profiting off of us as we are living and consuming and that kind of stuff. And so, and one of the things that happens is that we get bought into this idea that we need, and that's the Wetiko in us. So there's like this mutual flow of slavery. And it's not the God type of divine flow. It's not the spiritual type of flow. It's a flow of slavery that is getting us to believe in something that is outside of ourselves. And so what it does is they keep us at odds and arguing with each other. And they've done a good job of using social media to get us to do that. And so what happens is, so as we continue to argue, our minds started to get fragmented. So we get cut off in traffic and we want to run after them and scream at them. As people, they're not paying attention. I'm sure you guys have experienced this. You're driving down the interstate and somebody just swerves over and they don't even pay attention. They don't even stop and say, "Oh my goodness, I made a mistake. So sorry. I didn't see you there." There's no sense of anything. They didn't notice you at all. You weren't a part of their reality. They were literally in the state of, I have to get there. I have to be somewhere, and you need to get out of my way. As a matter of fact, not even you need to get out of my way. I just didn't even see you there. That's Wetiko. And so how do we fight Wetiko? How do we change Wetiko? How do we cure Wetiko? You might be asking. Because this might sound like a lot of doom and gloom. Hey, guess what? It's here. And so the truth is that we have to recognize the stuff in us, and we have to see it in order to heal it. And so people will argue because they'll say, no, this is not within us. No, I'm not a part of this. No, I did not cause this. No, I didn't. And hey, maybe not the physical sense of you didn't make a conscious choice, but the Wetiko virus is within all of us. So how do we change that? Well, we sit in meditation. We love that part of ourselves that wants to lash out. And when we love it, and instead of beating it up, and when we embrace that beast within us, that lizard, that reptilian energy within us, then it will start to change. It will start to soften. And the one thing I learned from, I think it was the movie called The Host, and I'd already known this, but The Host really depicts this. When they want to get that parasite or that alien parasite out of the human beings, they have to talk nicely to it with love. And what was happening is the surgeons of the rebellion of this particular movie, they were trying to surgically or pull it out and force it out. Well, what happened is when they'd force it out, they would kill not only the parasite, but they would also kill the human being, the human host. And so that's what has to happen with the Wetiko virus. We can't just force it out or push it out, because then it comes back to the old saying, that with which we resist persists, and it will kill us. So, and what we can do is we can spend time loving it, and we can reflect back when we want to lash out. And that's where the whole one finger pointing out in judgment, three pointing comes back at you. What that's really about, it's not about judgment, or it's not about right or wrong. It's not about making you feel bad about yourself. It's about loving that part of yourself that's being reflected back. And when you love that part of yourself, when you become in harmony with it, become at peace with it, then the Wetiko virus transforms itself back into that state of love and that human soulful self. We've been doing this for a long, long time, over and over and over and over again, for thousands and thousands of years, especially within the last 2,000 years. But it's been around since the beginning of time. It's been here. It's been feeding off of us, and it's getting stronger. And it uses this mind manipulation and makes us believe we're doing something good, and convinces us that things aren't so bad. It'll convince us to do things that are horrible to us, like drugs and over excessive drinking or over excessive eating or not taking care of our bodies and stuff like that. It'll convince us that, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And it uses mind manipulation and manipulative tactics to get us to believe in where it's at, because it doesn't want to let go of its hold on us. If it lets go of its hold on us, it feels that it's going to lose its nourishment. What it doesn't realize is that through love and compassion, it will literally evolve itself back into that loving, divine state that all of us come from. And so that's the one thing that is not talked about in the literature of the Wetiko, and even in I've not seen in the documents of the Cree Nation. But what I do know from the teachings that I've learned and from what I've channeled from Spirit is that, yes, we can love it. Yes, we can love the Archon energy. Yes, we can bring it back to light. Yes, they are soulless beings like vampires and zombies. And unlike those legends, they can be brought back. And they can be brought back through love. And we can bring and harmonize things and bring them back into synchronicity with all of creation, with all of the Creator, and with Spirit. And that can definitely be happening for all of us. And that's how we're going to reshape this earth, and that's how we're going to bring it and ascend it back up into the fifth dimension, or the fourth and fifth dimensions. And so that's going to happen with love, because love alchemizes everything and heals everything. And that is the one power that can change this world. So everybody, I hope you're having an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Peace and love you. Bye-bye.